The year was 2008. Breaking Bad premiered on AMC, introducing viewers to Walter White, a combination protagonist and antagonist they love to hate. Javier Bardem won Best Supporting Actor at the 80th Academy Awards for his breakout performance as calculating psychopath Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. And The Dark Knight, for which Heath Ledger would posthumously win the same award the following year for playing a similarly villainous character, was released a few months later. It was a big year for bad guys in movies and television, further evidenced by the release of Martin McDonagh's black comedy cult film about a pair of lovable killers on a vacation of sorts in Belgium. But Jesse never saw it. Until now. This is Movies I Missed, 2008, Episode 2, In Bruges.
I'm Jesse Munoz.
Rian Miller.
This is Movies I Missed, 2008, Episode number 2. Today we're talking about the film In Bruges, released February 8th, 2008, with a running time of 1 hour and 47 minutes. I want to give a warning that we will be discussing all aspects of this movie. That includes spoilers. In Bruges is a 2008 dark comedy directed by Martin McDonagh, starring Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson and Ray Fiennes. After a botched job in London, hitmen Ray and Ken are sent to Bruges, Belgium, to wait for orders from their boss. Ken spends his time sightseeing while Ray starts a romance with a local woman working on a film set. When their boss finally calls, the trip turns violent, and the two are forced to face the consequences of their work.
What's fucking unbelievable?
Are you talking to me?
He pauses, even though he should just hit the cunt. And he repeats, yes, I am talking to you. What's fucking unbelievable?
Well, I'll tell you what's fucking unbelievable, shall I? Blowing cigarette smoke straight into myself and my girlfriend's face. That's fucking unbelievable.
This is the smoking
I
section.
don't care if it's the smoking section. All right? She directed it right in my face, man. I don't want to die just because of your fucking arrogance.
Uh-huh. Isn't that what the Vietnamese used to say?
Vietnamese? What are you talking about, the Vietnamese? That statement makes no fucking sense at all.
Yes, it does. The Vietnamese.
Saying it over and over ain't gonna make any more sense out of it. How does the Vietnamese have any relevance whatsoever to myself and my girlfriend having to breathe your friend's cigarette smoke? Tell me how saying...
That's for John Lennon, you Yankee fucking cunt. A bottle. Now don't bother.
I do want to do a couple of plugs. Moviesimissed.com is our website. At Movies I Missed Podcast is our Instagram and YouTube. Follow us there. And we're available anywhere you get podcasts. So subscribe so that you never miss an episode. All right, Ryan, we're back for episode number 2. Today, In Bruges, which was my choice. This is a movie that I have a lot of memories of not seeing, but you recommending back in 2008, like big time, because we were doing the Sidetrack podcast. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. And then, we're 17 years later, however many years.
You got to it.
Finally got to it. It took a while, but we finally got to it. So my choice, I'd watched Banshees of Inisherin, which they did together when it originally came out. And my first watching I didn't love it the first time, but it was one of those movies that stick with you. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so I watched it again. I was like, oh, this movie's great. So this is a movie that I've always wanted to see. It's just sitting there. And, we've talked in the past about how once a movie has gone past, like you try to watch all the movies in the year. And then once that year's passed, it kind of gets put on the shelf. And it's like, when do you get to it? And that's kind of where it's been all this time. So
I know
what's your
the
history
feeling
with
well.
the movie?
I saw it when it came out-ish, like within that first year, I'd say, and liked it. And then promptly didn't watch it again until I think last year. I've owned it on Blu-ray forever, which I can say about a lot of fucking things. Mm-hmm. And so I've got a couple of friends named Mike and Jackie, and a couple of times a year they invite me over, and Jackie will make dinner, we'll hang out, we'll catch up, and I'll always bring over a movie. Usually Jackie will have heard like, oh, I hear someone told me this is good. Do you have it? And inevitably the answer is yes, I do. So I'll bring something over, and she had seen Banshees of Inisherin when it came out, and actually is the one who told me I should watch it. And then after she realized that the same director had worked with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson before, she wanted to watch In Bruges. And so it had to have been less than a year ago. I rewatched this for the first time in going on 20 years. And then coincidentally, here we are watching it again. But yeah, like I remember liking it a lot and like the vibes of it. But until that rewatch last year, I had forgotten so much about the movie.
Sure.
Yeah. Enjoyed it on a rewatch and on another rewatch this time.
Second rewatch. All right, so it's written and directed by Martin McDonagh. What's your relationship with him and his films? And did you know much about him before you saw In Bruges originally?
Before, no. I mean, is In Bruges his first feature film?
It is. He did a short film, which I think won some Oscars and stuff, like a short film Oscar, called Six Shooter with Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah, knew nothing about that. But like, I guess In Bruges was just one of those movies people were talking about, and that's why I saw it back when it came out. He's not a director that I've like followed his career or anything. But I did see 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri when it came out. I thought the trailers looked really good and I was interested in the cast. I've only seen that once in the theater and I remember being a little disappointed by it. Like I thought it looked like it was going to be amazing. And I mean, it won awards and stuff. But I feel like either I built it up too much for some reason in my head or something. Like it is a movie I want to give a rewatch. And even though I didn't love it, I have the Blu-ray.
Sure.
And then, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was my friend Jackie that got me to watch Banshees of Inisherin. Surprise, surprise, I also own his other movie, Seven Psychopaths, despite the fact that I haven't seen it. And we'll hopefully get around to it one of these days. But
oh, you haven't seen Seven Psychopaths? I haven't seen it either,
no.
But I thought you had seen it. Okay.
Haven't seen it, but it's on the shelf downstairs. But yeah, I mean, so I think that's basically everything he's done.
Yeah, he was mostly doing theater before he stepped into film. So he had like a pretty big reputation as like an acclaimed theater writer. And then started doing films. Like I said, he had the short film Six Shooter. I don't know anything about that. And then this was his first movie. He did 3 Billboards, like you mentioned, and then Seven Psychopaths
was in between there.
Yeah. And then Banshees was his last film that came out. I don't know if he's got anything else. I'm sure he's working on something. Wild Horse 9 is apparently his next movie with Sam Rockwell, John Malkovich.
He has a tendency to have titles that make no goddamn sense until you see them.
Sure.
Between In Bruges, like I bet you the first time I saw that, I didn't even pronounce it correctly.
I know I didn't.
I mean, Seven Psychopaths is a little different, but like 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. What a fucking weird title that is when you don't know what the movie is.
What do you think Wild Horse 9 is going to be about? Is that does it have to do with like I
mean, if I was to ask you, what do you think a movie called The Banshees of Inisherin is going to be about? Do you think you should get anywhere near what the movie actually is? No, I don't have any clue what Wild Horse 9 is, Jesse.
Starring Colin Farrell. Do you like the movies that I listed for Colin Farrell here on our sheet?
Yeah, that's a murderer's row of great films.
Yeah, I listed Daredevil, Alexander, Total Recall, and Dumbo. Obviously, his greatest hits. No, I mean he's really good.
Couldn't toss Minority Report in there.
No, I had to give all the big hits that he did. Minority Report was a good one. Banshees of Inisherin, he's great in. The Penguin, which you didn't watch, right?
No, but I did see the Batman.
I mean, he's good in the Batman, unrecognizable totally in the Batman.
Yeah.
But he's nominated for a bunch of awards for the Penguin, and he was unrecognizable. He's really, really good.
I mean, it's been a while since I watched it, but I remember liking the movie Tigerland that he's in, and
The Lobster.
The Lobster, I love. Phone Booth is a movie I enjoy.
Joel Schumacher, isn't it?
Maybe. I know it was written by Larry Cohen.
Okay.
The guy who gave us The Stuff and Cue the Winged Serpent.
Okay. I mean, he's been in like a million things. The dude is just all over the place. Was supposed to be like a huge like star. And I don't know. Do you consider him a huge star?
I mean, last episode we talked about Liev Schreiber and how I feel like, he's more of a character actor than like a star. I feel like Colin Farrell is the lead in a lot of things, but he still kind of reads to me as a character actor, maybe because of some of the choices he makes and the fact that he'll do weird shit like Banshees of Inisherin, just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think he's a leading man. Is he on the level of Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt? No, but
no, yeah.
I almost feel like, in a weird way, because of stuff like his performance in The Batman or Banshees or whatever, that he's almost, I don't know, more respectable. It's like he has that quirky, interesting character actor performance, but he's getting the leading man roles. I don't know how else to put it.
He's a very handsome man, right? So he's got the leading man looks to him. And so it's like, and he's got charisma. So it feels like should be the leading man. But when you put him as just the leading man in something like Alexander, it just doesn't work.
I don't think I've ever seen Alexander.
Oh, it's rough.
A bunch of those movies all came out at the same time. I think I saw Troy.
Yeah, he's not in Troy, is he? I don't think so.
No, but I'm just saying, like, Troy, Alexander, Kingdom of Heaven, all those movies, it's like Gladiator came out and then everyone was like, quick, swords and sandals. And I get them confused and I only saw like one of them. But yeah, so I don't think I've ever seen that. But
I feel like he's a guy that has like waves of like, oh, here's Colin Farrell, and then he's gone. And then here's Colin Farrell, and then he's gone.
I mean, it's like he is a leading man, but he's a leading man in stuff like The Lobster. He's not a leading man in stuff like Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Like even in like Minority Report, which is like big action movie, he's like side character, like a foil for the big star Tom Cruise. Like, does he have like an action film that he's the lead of or something?
Was he the lead of SWAT?
Yeah, maybe.
Was he the lead in Miami Vice? It's him and Jamie Foxx, right?
Yeah, that is more of an artsy action film, but yeah, okay. I didn't think about those. You're right. Yeah, that's a shame. But it's just like, man, like look at. Like, you give him a good script and good character to work with, and you get something like The Lobster or even this, but then, you just kind of throw him in something and you get Total Recall or his Bullseye from Daredevil.
Right. Which the Bullseye thing isn't necessarily his fault, right? Like, I feel like that's more of a direction and style. I don't think he's good, but it's because the movies are bad sort of thing. It's hard to judge him on that.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he's not easily quantifiable. I don't, unlike like a Tom Cruise, I don't think you can say what you're going to get with a Tom Cruise movie. I feel like you don't know what you're going to get with Colin Farrell, and that's kind of what makes him interesting.
Sure. Has a huge resurgence with the Batman, though. That was like, everyone was just blown away by his performance in the Batman because he was so unrecognizable, and then, got a full season of TV, crazily enough, as the Penguin and knocked it out of the park and is kind of riding that wave. So we'll see where it goes from there. But what about Brendan Gleeson?
The first thing I really remember him in is 28 Days Later. But yeah, I like him. I think he is a character actor, and he's a guy that I love to see pop up in things. And he does that frequently. He's in a billion things.
He was in Troy, by the way. So yeah, He's one of those guys that up until recently, I wouldn't have known that I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. And then you kind of realize, oh, that was him. And I don't know what it was for me that sort of set him apart. Maybe it was Banshees. But if you go through his list of movies, I've seen a ton of his movies, and I just don't know if I remember him exactly. I guess the first thing for me would probably be Harry Potter. He played Mad-Eye Moody in those, but I wouldn't have gone like, oh, that's Brendan Gleeson, He was in Paddington 2, which I loved. Have you seen the Paddington movies?
I have not.
Gosh, I kept hearing how like they has like, I want to say Paddington 2 is like one of the few movies that has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. And it's like one of the most well-regarded movies of all time. And I'm like, come on, it's a little bear movie. I freaking love Paddington and Paddington 2. Legit, they're so good. They're so good.
Your friend and mine, Brian Weiner, and his wife are huge fans of the Paddington movies, and they've been trying to get me to watch them for a while. And again, this is a trend that you'll notice the more I talk about my movie collection. Haven't seen them, but I recently bought for like a couple bucks each Blu-ray copies of Paddington and Paddington 2, and they're on my shelf. And one of these days I will get around to watching them because by all accounts, they're just the most perfect, feel-good movies ever made.
They're just so good. And it was after watching the first Paddington, I was like, why is Paddington 2 like rated better? And then you watch Paddington 2 and you're like, oh, I get it. It's really good. It's weird.
But has Paddington 3 continued the trend?
I haven't seen the third one. I'm kind of afraid to because the guy that made the first two didn't make the third one. So Brendan Gleeson also in Joker Folie à Deux. Did we ever talk about Joker? Did you ever see that?
I did see it. I've spent every waking moment since trying to forget it, but...
You hated it?
I mean, as good as I thought the first one was, I thought that the second one was just kind of wankery. I think that, what's his name that directed that movie?
Todd Phillips.
Yeah, I think Todd Phillips was drinking his own Kool-Aid on that one. I think, everybody jerked him off so much that he thought he could do no wrong, and that wasn't really the case.
It felt like he said it was like a big FU to the people that liked the first movie, really.
For sure. Well, to the people who liked it for the wrong reasons, which I would say is most people.
Yes, because I didn't like the first one that much.
I liked it a lot, but I thought that the artistry of it was really good. I mean, I thought his obvious attempts to like mimic films of the 70s was like incredibly successful. And I loved the fact that there was barely any mention of like Batman stuff outside of the Joker himself. And I thought that Joaquin Phoenix's performance was fantastic. I didn't like it because it was some kind of weird, like, macho, like vicarious dream, like a lot of people seem to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This second one, I hate it.
But yeah, Brendan Gleeson's been in everything. Braveheart, 28 Days Later, Lake Placid, Gangs of New York, the Harry Potter movies, Troy, Village, Joker. So, ton of stuff. Speaking of Harry Potter, Ralph Fiennes. I always can never pronounce his name. Is it Fiennes or is it?
The last name is Fiennes. The thing I'm always confused about is it's spelled Ralph, but I feel like people pronounce it Rafe, or I'm not sure if it's Ray, like Ray Fiennes, or if it's Rafe Fiennes.
I've heard it pronounced a million different ways, but he's also in this movie, and he's one of those guys that whenever he shows up, whenever he pops in movies, it's like, oh yeah, he's fun. Like when he pops up in like James Bond or something. Yeah, he's good. He's fun.
Yep, I like him as M. I like him in this. He's in a David Cronenberg movie called Spider that is not the best David Cronenberg movie, but I thought he was good in it.
He's Voldemort. Whether you like those movies or not, he's Voldemort.
That is true. I feel like he's a pretty good chameleon.
Yeah,
he's kind of like a Gary Oldman to me.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. He's in his character. His character in this is pretty different than stuff I've seen in the past. For sure. So just a couple of other names. Clemence Posey.
Don't ask me how to pronounce that one.
I think that's how I pronounce it. She's the girl that Ray kind of falls in love with. Didn't recognize her, but she was in Harry Potter. She ends up marrying Bill Weasley. She was in the, if you remember the...
I don't. I guarantee you I don't.
So I'll stop right there. She's in Tenet. I don't remember Tenet at all. So
Likewise.
And then Jordan Prentice is Jimmy.
The dwarf.
Okay. Was he Howard the Duck?
He was one of the people in costume in Howard the Duck, apparently, according to Wikipedia.
Okay. All right.
I just had to write that down because it was like his first credited role.
Yeah. Small cast. I mean, it's a small movie. So not a lot of people in it. Yeah. What was so this is your third watch now?
Third time. Yeah. Like I said, I liked it back when I first saw it. And I remember recommending it to a lot of people, just didn't watch it again for, 15 plus years. Pretty much lost the plot entirely, remembered visuals and whatnot. But like rewatching it like last year or whenever it was, a lot of it was so new to me because I hadn't seen it in so long. That viewing was recent enough that I had pretty much the same experience this time as that most recent one. Yeah, I enjoy the movie a lot. It's like, it's coming after the whole like post Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, everyone trying to do like cool chatty hitman movies.
Yeah.
So it comes like a little late for that, but I think that it's a good example of that weird subgenre, and it doesn't get too overboard with that obnoxious, like, in your face shit until the end, like until Brendan Gleeson talks on the phone to Ray Fiennes' character, and then he like slams the phone down and it cuts to Ray Fiennes and you see him for the first time. I feel like from then on it turns into a Guy Ritchie movie.
It's funny you say that. Like, this reminded me a lot of, not necessarily in story or mostly like style and tone, but it reminded me a lot of Lock, Stock.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a crime related movie with like people having like stupid bickering arguments and everybody has British accents.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand that, but I feel like it tonally really starts to become a Guy Ritchie movie again after Ray Fiennes shows up.
Sure, because the rest is just them chatting. Like it's Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell talking about stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like you said in the plot synopsis, it's like we enter the movie with Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell showing up in Bruges, which is like just this, I think they say it's the most well-preserved medieval town in Belgium. And so it's like cobblestone streets and old buildings and like old-timey architecture. It looks like a very like gorgeous, picturesque place to visit. And, we're told that they have been sent there to like get them out of London for a while, and we find out eventually that they're kind of partner hitmen, and Colin Farrell's very first hit, he fucks it up and accidentally kills a child,
which they show.
So their boss Harry, Ray Fiennes, like sends them away to like get them out of Dodge. And it's just like, for the longest time, like it takes a little while before they tell us that. And it takes a little while before they get the call from Harry that like really moves the plot forward, which is basically that he wants Brendan Gleeson to kill Colin Farrell because he fucked up the hit and he's got to go. And of course, Brendan Gleeson's been spending time with Colin Farrell, so they're kind of friendly and he doesn't want to. But a lot of it is just Brendan Gleeson's like an older guy. I guess his character, well, no, because Colin Farrell constantly refers to him as gay, which I guess is just him fucking around with him. But he does say that he had a wife at one point. But he's just like an older guy who's into culture and art and stuff. So he loves the fact that, they've been sent on this little vacation to Bruges, and Colin Farrell is just like a younger guy who doesn't appreciate it and thinks it's the most boring place in the world and wants to do anything except walk around and look at old architecture. And so for a lot of it, it's just like a weird, like these two mismatched people, like an odd couple paired together in this bizarre situation, and it's just like fun and endearing. And then all of a sudden,
that all day, like legit, their relationship,
they're so good.
Is so good, and the way they play off of each other both feels realistic. And I didn't realize it was going to be as funny as it was. Like I was legit like laughing, like like an actual comedy, laughing at so much of it because it was so funny. And then it would hard pivot and show you like Colin Farrell killing a child, and you're like, holy shit! Like where did this come from? You know what I mean? Like
and then wanting to kill himself, and
like the whole scene where he does go to kill himself, and Brendan Gleeson's going to kill him. And like right before he does it, he like stops him, and it was like it's pretty dark stuff, but it's all played for comedy at the same time. It's like a really hard line to balance, and I think that he, for the most part, does a really good job of balancing that line, of making it funny and also like, gosh, this is like sad and dark and kind of depressing. But there's like real emotion and real character stuff throughout it, where it's like, Colin Farrell is just like sick with himself, right? Like it's his first job and he kills a little kid, and he plays it in a way that is so believable. And you kind of feel for him, which is weird because they are hitmen, right? Like how do you humanize hitmen? You put him in this sort of weird situation in this beautiful place, and and just give him stuff to do. And, you know, he falls in love with the girl on the set, and they go out on a date, and he gets in a fight with the Canadians there. And
they do some coke with a midget and some strippers or some prostitutes.
Come on. He spends the whole time talking about how dwarves want to end up killing themselves because of how hard their lives are.
They're filming a movie with midgets.
It's so funny. It's so well done. And I really like this this really reminded me of Guy Ritchie and Lock, Stock, is the way how we see everything that we see is set up or gets paid off or gets revisited later in the movie. Yeah. For example, Brendan Gleeson wants to go up to the top of the clock tower and to see the view, and Colin Farrell doesn't want to do it because he's just young and dumb and can't appreciate the finer things of life, especially in the situation that he's in. And then these like three fat Americans walk up to him who clearly were not American. Terrible American accents.
I mean, when she yells back at him, when Brendan Gleeson tries to tell her like, oh, I don't think you want to go up there. And she's like, fuck you, you motherfucker. And I'm like, that's not an American accent.
Their American accents are so bad, but they're like wearing like, they're obviously like they're fat, like, because they're fat Americans, and they're like,
and they're wearing jeans.
And like a Nike's or like a New York Yankees hat and things like that. And, Colin Farrell is like telling them they don't want to go up there because they're like too fat, which is pretty fun. It's like played for laughs. It's really, really good. In the end, though, the dude had a heart attack trying to climb those stairs. That's that kind of stuff. Just like a little clever writing where like, did it have to be in the movie? Did it make the movie better or worse? Not really, but I just really enjoy that sort of thing.
It's useful to the plot because it allows them to be alone up there, which they need for the scene because they're ostensibly going up there for Ralph Fiennes to kill Brendan Gleeson's character. But so it's just like an excuse to have it like it's closed down because yesterday an American had a heart attack up there.
Yeah,
like
it's just fun little stuff that pays off. It doesn't really have to. The gun, everything. Like he gets the gun, and that's going to play a part in some way. And I don't know. Like it's just it's written really well. It's acted really well. It's pretty simple. You could tell it's like someone's first movie because they don't have a ton of money to do a lot of things. It's shot pretty simply, but it looks really good. It also helps shooting in Bruges, right? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of, production value just in how gorgeous the actual town is.
Totally. And more than anything, you're just there with these two characters. And I think that's the heart of what makes the movie work, as well as like, it's very similar in an opposite way of Banshees of Inisherin, where it's like, in Banshees, Brendan Gleeson cuts Colin Farrell off, and then the whole movie, Colin Farrell's trying to figure out why. It's like Brendan Gleeson not trying to redeem Colin Farrell, but trying to make him understand like he doesn't have to be defined by this action. And I think it's just really good. It's just well written, well acted, and it's like super enjoyable to watch. And just their interactions and how they play off of each other, and then the humor just really, really works. I think it's funny that Ralph Fiennes sends them to Bruges because it's like for him it was like what do you call it, like
a fairy tale
place. Yeah. And it's like the exact opposite of Colin Farrell. He's like,
he was there about it. He was there when he was 7 years old, and he remembers it was like a fairy tale with the swans and everything. And he's like, I wanted to send Ray there to try and do one last good thing for him. And I love the line delivery when Brendan Gleeson tells Colin Farrell that. He's like, he wanted to send you here so you'd have like one last good experience or whatever. Colin Farrell just looks at him. He's like, In Bruges. And it's like, that's where the title of the movie comes from.
He says In Bruges in the first like 5 minutes of the first 10 minutes of the movie like a ton of times because he just does not want to be there.
I mean, they say like, Bruges a lot, but I feel like that delivery of In Bruges has got to be where the title came from. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, characters are good. There's so many scenes that it's just like, it doesn't feel like it's moving the plot along necessarily, but like you said, everything kind of comes back at the end. Like the scene where they're doing coke with Jimmy and the prostitutes, or just like Colin Farrell going back to the girl's house and then her ex-boyfriend trying to hold him up and he fires the blank in his eye. And it's like, how is any of that going to come back? But
No, it all comes back, and then like the Coke scene is one of the funniest scenes too, especially with the dwarf talking about the race war that's going to happen.
Yeah,
and whose side they're going to be on. Oh gosh, I was dying. That stuff is so funny.
Yeah, I will say that I have one hang up with the movie, and it doesn't exactly ruin it, but I feel like it doesn't quite stick the landing. And I wish I could remember how I felt the first time I saw it, but both like of my most recent viewings of it, they set up the whole idea that Ray Fiennes' character Harry says like, if I killed a kid, I couldn't live with myself. I would just like kill myself immediately. And then they have this whole elaborate setup where there's a film being shot in Bruges while everyone's there. And one of the characters in a dream sequence is a little person, and he's dressed up to look like a little boy. And then Ray Fiennes accidentally shoots him in the head, specifically with a bullet that his like armorer guy gave to him, that he was like, this is one of those ones that'll like blow a person's entire head off. So when he looks at the body, he can't tell that it's a little person instead of a kid. And then Ray Fiennes is so true to his word that even though he has a family and kids and everything, the second that he thinks he killed the child, he decides to blow his own head off. And that's like your little like clever wrap up at the end of the story. And it just feels a little too forced to me.
Yeah.
It's like everything ties up, but it's like you had to work so hard to get there that it feels like a little tedious. That would be my one complaint. Like it's fine, and yes, it technically, logically works, but it doesn't feel like it sticks the landing.
You had to massage
100%.
it quite a bit to get it there, though. Yeah,
there's a lot of moving parts, and it's a little bit eye-rolly right at the end there for me.
I agree. It doesn't ruin the movie. It's more of like a nitpick, I would say, than anything. I feel like the movie works so well. It does shift. Like once Brendan Gleeson makes the call, it becomes a different movie, which is fine. I like that shift. I think I enjoyed the first half more than the second half, but you have to have, like, otherwise it's just them talking the whole time, or like, in the situations, but there's no real narrative arc to the rest of it. So you had to have something. Yeah. So, I like that. Do you like how it ends with not knowing whether or not Colin Farrell dies? Yeah. I like that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, everything else about it I like. I like the humor. I like the darker stuff. Obviously the locations are great. I think it's an interesting little story. It's just that one thing that even though it does work within the framework of the film, it somehow doesn't sit quite right. It feels too forced.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that like might be a little forced, is I like when they're having the conversation about like your hands can be used as a deadly weapon, and then he's like talking about karate, and then later he like karate chops the dwarf, but there's a moment where like where he talks about if he had a bottle, then it's like, well then yeah, you had to, like, it was the time that Brendan Gleeson killed someone that wasn't a hit.
Yeah, and it was because he rushed him with a bottle.
With a bottle. And he's like, yeah, you could have killed you with a bottle. And then it happens where the lady
swings
comes
a
at him
bottle
with
at
a bottle.
Colin Farrell,
Yeah.
punches her in the face.
Yeah. That's the stuff that I really enjoy. I thought it was really funny.
And even that comes back where Brendan Gleeson puts him on the train so that he won't have to kill him, and he'll hopefully go off to an unknown place where Harry will never find him. But then those damn Canadians spot him on the train.
Yeah.
And they take him back to the jail in Bruges.
Yeah, that stuff was really, really good.
I just love all of Colin Farrell's little line deliveries, like, just when he's like trying to appease Brendan Gleeson, and he'll just be like, there's the scene where he wants to go out. He just like wants to get out of the hotel room, and he's telling Brendan Gleeson like, we can go out and I bet you the medieval buildings look even better at night, with the lights on and all. And he's just talking about with the old architecture and that, and his character and the like childish, playful way he tries to manipulate Brendan Gleeson, even though Brendan Gleeson's like onto him the whole time. He like thinks he's getting one over on him. It's just like, how the fuck did those two ever end up getting put together, you know?
I know. It's
I guess
magic.
it was supposed to be like Brendan Gleeson's character is like his mentor since it's like Colin Farrell's first time, but I don't know. They make the perfect odd couple in this situation.
They so do. They're so good together. Like just the two of them just play off each other so well. It's really, really good.
Brendan Gleeson's so dry. Like this, the other scene that I thought was really funny this time around was when they're in like an old church or something, and Brendan Gleeson's telling him, he's like, up there on that altar they have like a cloth that was brought back, and it's supposed to have the blood of Jesus, and I'm gonna go up there and get in the line and then touch the blood because that's what you do here. Do you want to come? And Colin Farrell looks at me, he's like, do I have to? Brendan Gleeson's like, do you have to? It's only the blood of Jesus. Of course you don't have to. It's just, those little, it's like almost like Seinfeld stupid arguments that they have.
Yeah.
Oh, that stuff's
because
all
they
good.
feel like real people. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, is it just feels like, yes, they're like hitmen, but they feel like real, actual people. And I think that's...
Yeah. There's so many movies that came in that like post Tarantino, post Kevin Smith time where people are like getting halfway there, but then the dialogue's not as good or it feels too forced. But these two guys just feel like oddballs, but they feel like believable real world oddballs.
They definitely could live in a world with Tarantino though, and his characters. Like they could be plucked right out of like Pulp Fiction. For sure. Here's one thing that I didn't love also with the ending is it's so on the nose where they go to the art museum and they're looking at those paintings, and one of them is about Judgment Day or the end of days or the end of the world or whatever.
Yeah, the Hieronymus Bosch painting.
And then when he gets shot at the end, Colin Farrell gets shot at the end and is like wandering through the street, and he stumbles upon the film set, but you're not supposed to tell that it's the film set yet. That stuff was just a little too on the nose, where it's like, yeah, I got it. Because
it's supposed to be a dream sequence that they're filming, and everybody's wearing like cloaks and big weird looking animal masks and stuff.
Yeah. Like it's not terrible, but it's just a little bit like there's no subtlety to it at all. It's just like so blatant. It's like I don't love that stuff, but it's like it's fine. It's not... It doesn't ruin the movie or anything for me, but the weakest part of the movie is the last like 5 minutes of the movie.
I would agree. I would definitely agree with that. But yeah, on the whole, I don't know. It's still like a very enjoyable movie, and that stuff that we don't love at the end is not nearly bad enough to like ruin the entire experience.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It is crazy to think though, like when you start the film, never in a million years would you think, oh, this movie in the third act is going to have one of our beloved characters like jump off of a tower and completely mangle his fucking body, but still be alive enough to like talk. And
when he went up to him and he was still alive after he'd fallen, I was like, how? Like we saw like his body explode.
Yeah, it's a little suspension of disbelief there.
Yeah. I figured he was gonna die. Well, here I'll say this: I was surprised that they were able to like work it out. Like he shoots him in the leg, and I thought, oh, that's interesting that they were able to like come to the conclusion. It was like, yeah, Brendan Gleeson knew that he disobeyed the orders that he was supposed to do, and is willing to live with the consequences. Sacrifice himself for Colin Farrell. I thought that was an interesting way to go with the movie. And then we find out, or then we know that Ray's still there, and then the blind kid comes and tells him or whatever. And then they have this shootout, and he shoots him in the neck. I'm like, oh my gosh, is he still alive? So I didn't expect, I did expect him to die. I didn't expect him to throw himself off the top of the bell tower, but I did expect him to like give up his life. I would think I was most surprised when Colin Farrell ends up getting shot, though, like multiple times.
Yeah, he basically gets a clip emptied into his spine, and it's still possible that he's alive at the end.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you live through that. And the whole irony of it all is he wanted to kill him. Like he was literally seconds away from killing himself. So yeah, it was good. Good stuff.
Yeah. One thing that's a little weird from an editing standpoint that I noticed this time is during that whole sequence at the tower before Brendan Gleeson kills himself, actually during that whole time, is, it's a pretty tall tower. It's not that tall. It takes Ray Fiennes like
a long time
7 years to walk to run down the stairs and out the front of it.
Yeah, and he drags himself up the stairs and then throws himself off. Yeah, you're right.
Because even he hits the ground and Colin Farrell has time to walk over and have a fucking conversation with him before Ray Fiennes goes out. This time around, I was like, come move it along. How long is it taking him to get down here? Did he stop to take a shit?
Yeah, really high up there.
But yeah, I don't know. That's minor critique.
Yeah, all of these complaints feel like minor complaints.
Yeah.
Nitpicks, that sort of thing. All right, let's talk a little bit about the box office for this movie. Cost $15 million to make, ended up bringing in $33 million worldwide. It debuted in 28 theaters on February 8th and grossed $16,000 in 25th place. Its biggest weekend was its second weekend, grossing $970,000 in 112 theaters. The widest it opened was 232 theaters at the end of February, grossing a cumulative $775,000. It stayed in limited showing until June, finally grossing $7.7 million domestically. So,
man, if it did like that seemingly poorly, it's kind of wild that it even made it to 33 million. I mean, I know that's worldwide, but
yeah.
I mean, this definitely. 2008 was Blockbuster Video and were rental stores still a thing? And
I mean, they were on their way out, but
this 100% feels like a movie that you discover on the shelves of Blockbuster or Hollywood Video rather than ever even knowing it existed in a movie theater.
I was surprised that it didn't get an actual full wide release. I thought it would have, but no. It was, 200 theaters in the States. That's not a lot of theaters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it still is able to make a little bit of money. So I don't know why. Maybe, I couldn't tell you why. I couldn't find a reason why it never found a wide distributor. But I wonder if it ever did open wide, if it could have made a couple more bucks, or maybe they just thought it wouldn't fit American sensibility or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it is a very European feeling film. Not that, that can't work here, but it is just like this kind of niche little movie that could kind of vibe to it. That's why I say it totally feels like the kind of thing that would get like a kind of word of mouth on home video kind of campaign going, which I'm sure is how I must have heard it reviewed on a podcast or something and been like, oh, I got to check that out.
Yeah. It's got its fans for sure. It definitely became a cult hit. And the only reason I say that it is a cult hit is because it was never released wide. Like most people never had the opportunity to watch it in the theater. And then again, in 2008, competing with other stuff at Blockbuster and mom and pop shelves.
Yeah. And then, the director goes on to do bigger and better things. Three Billboards was nominated for a bunch of stuff, and I think it won Best Actress, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And then Banshees was nominated for stuff. I don't know if it won anything, but like I said, my friend Jackie had never seen In Bruges, didn't even know what it was, but then based on the popularity of one of his more recent movies, asked me if we could go back and check this one out. So I feel like it's standing the test of time weirdly because of that kind of stuff.
For sure. As far as reviews go, it's 84% in Rotten Tomatoes. It has 16,000 fans on Letterboxd.
I like this statistic you've brought to the show.
So 16,000 people have it in their top 4. It's with 455,000 ratings. It has a 4.1 on Letterboxd. So
pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. What did the critics say? Well, Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave it 4 out of 4 stars.
Oh.
Said, I will say it is not only ingenious, but almost inevitable the way the screenplay brings all of these destinies together at one place in time. Along the way, there are times of great sadness and poignancy, times of abandon, times of goofiness, and that kind of humor that is really funny because it grows out of character and close observation. Well, Raj really liked it. Tom Charity of CNN.com said, the writer's bravado can be exhilarating, but frequently the excess is all there is to hang on to. McDonough's self-conscious, clumsy direction doesn't smooth over some of the ramshackle plotting.
Can't disagree with that entirely.
Sure. Yeah, I think the direction of the movie is definitely, I don't want to say, I guess, elementary. It's pretty basic. It looks like someone's first movie, you know? Mm-hmm. It's not terrible, but it's also it's missing the thing that sort of like Tarantino would eventually get to, where it's like you look at Reservoir Dogs and it's pretty simple, and then you look at like Pulp Fiction and it looks so much better. But and McDonough gets there. Like In Bruges is an amazing looking movie. So the direction of that is really good.
Did you mean Banshees?
Banshees. I said In Bruges, didn't I?
You said In Bruges.
And I even used the S too, which is silly. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian said, when Ray and Ken finally conclude that Bruges is not a shithole after all, but a lovely city, secluded and unspoilt because of its marooned in the shithole country of Belgium, this mournful epiphany of hilariously rude and yet strangely moving. It's one of those reviews, it's like, I don't know exactly what he's saying. It feels like a compliment. It feels like he liked it.
Mournful epiphany is hilariously rude and yet strangely moving. Yeah, it seems like he likes it. Is The Guardian like a UK paper? Because
I think so.
That's a pretty good dig on Belgium there.
I know. It's pretty funny. Lisa Schwarzbaum of Entertainment Weekly gave it a C+. In Bruges lurches from pretty but uninformative tour of the town footage to static conversations between Ray and Ken, dully framed. Damn. I mean, that hard disagree. Disagree. Like the static conversations, static is not even close to a word I would use to describe the conversations. They're like pretty entertaining and move the film along.
Yeah. It's funny, she mentions uninformative tour of the town footage. So like I mentioned, I have the Blu-ray, and after I finished watching it for this review, I was like, oh, I wonder what special features there are. And there were really only two things. One is a gag reel, which there wasn't much to it. It was just like some, Colin Farrell laughing in the middle of scenes or whatever. And then it was actually really interesting. That scene that we talked about in a minute ago with like the blood of Christ or whatever. Mm-hmm. It showed a long take of that, and Colin Farrell just like starts cracking up in the middle of it. Brendan Gleeson continues full on, doesn't break, and they finished the whole scene with Colin Farrell like laughing through all of his lines, but Brendan Gleeson doesn't break until they yell cut, and then he starts laughing, and I was like, that was actually kind of impressive. Yeah, because like it's like a quiet scene, and Colin Farrell's just like laughing in his face. But the one other special feature is literally they mounted a camera on a boat and just drove it through the canals, and they have like music from the movie playing, and then like at the top of the screen, it's just like scrolling text with information about Bruges. And it's like an 8-minute long. I sat there and I watched the whole thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a place to at least visit.
And it was interesting because they were telling you details about things you saw in the movie, like the actual museum where you can see the Bosch painting, and it talks about the swans, and the tallest building is the church that they go to, and yada yada yada.
Yeah, that's cool.
Weirdly interesting just to watch a boat drive around for 8 minutes.
James Greenberg of The Hollywood Reporter wrote, just when you think you've seen every possible variation on the hitman genre, Irish playwright Martin McDonagh in his feature debut has fashioned an audacious combination of old world grace and modern ultraviolence.
Yeah. Agreed.
Got this review here that says, regardless the simple charms of In Bruges' characters. Gosh, I said the S. No, but that's because it's plural.
Who's this review? You didn't say.
Oh, I'll tell you in a second. Regardless, the simple charms of In Bruges' characters and their accompanying performances by the cast holds everything together very well and help the film remain a good time despite its flaws. That is from reviewer Ryan Miller on Letterboxd.
Oh, wow. There you go.
I like that you didn't even realize that it was your own.
Well, the next person you have listed is Leonard Maltin, and I was like, oh, he didn't say he's going to the Leonard Maltin book.
because I haven't yet. Now I'm going to the Leonard Maltin book.
You'll see, you threw me for a loop. I'm following along with your notes.
I did. I didn't want to put that in there. All right. In Bruges, 3 stars from old Leonard Maltin here. Black comedy about 2 hitmen who are exiled to the Belgian tourist city of Bruges until things cool off after a bungled job at home. Easygoing Gleason is content to take in the sights, but hot-headed Farrell is bored and itchy. Eventually, their mercurial boss is forced to follow them there. Ingenious feature debut for playwright McDonough, who creates truly original characters, hardcore criminals, each with his own moral code. All 3 leading actors are on top of their game. Exceptional score by Carter Burwell.
Right on.
Leonard liked it. As far as awards go, was nominated at the Oscars for a Best Original Screenplay. It lost to Milk, which stars Sean Penn. Also nominated for Best Original Screenplay, something called Frozen River. No idea what that is. Happy Go Lucky. Also don't know what that is. And surprisingly enough, Wall-E, which is funny because like the first half of the screenplay is like literally no dialogue.
Yeah, but I think everyone basically agrees that that is a great movie. Like, and you know, there may not be any talking, but still,
Sure.
There's an awful lot of emotion and storytelling without talking.
Oh, I love Wall-E.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Stop dissing on Wall-E.
I was just a little surprised that it got nominated for Best Original Screenplay. That's all. I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm not saying it shouldn't have. I just was surprised. At the BAFTAs, it had Best Actor in a Supporting Role nomination for Brendan Gleeson. That was just a nomination. Best Original Screenplay did win, though, for Martin McDonough. It was also nominated for Best British Film and Best Editing. And then Golden Globes, Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy had a nomination. And then both Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson were nominated for Best Actor, Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. And Colin Farrell won. So if you had to give the award to one of those two, who would you give it to? Like who gets the award in your opinion? Like Colin Farrell's I think funnier and has a little bit more weight to it because he has a waves of emotions, right? Like high on drugs, crying from suicidal and crying from his actions, fun date night, you know, like, I don't know. He is more, but Brendan Gleeson is like the heart, I think. Like he's the steady hand through it all.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if you give it to one, you have to give it to both. I think they're a package deal.
Yeah. And the winners are Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell. Congratulations. Surprised that hasn't happened more in these awards. I feel like there should be some ties.
It's happened a couple times at the Academy Awards over the years.
Has it?
Yeah. I feel like it hasn't happened in a while, but I know at some point I read an article about it, and there's been like 4 or 6 times since the Academy Awards were a thing where there was a tie. You can look that up in your own time, but
yeah, 6 times it's happened.
Yeah, I would have never known unless I had seen that clickbait article. So
yeah, it's Collider. The most recent tie occurred in 2013 for Best Sound Editing. Zero Dark 30 and Skyfall shared the award. That's so weird.
Yeah.
For notes and impact, it's hard because this movie is mostly a cult movie. You know, it's got a lot of fans, but there's not a lot to go with it. One of the notes that I have here is 5 actors who are also in Harry Potter are related. Ray Fiennes plays Voldemort. Obviously, we talked about this. Brendan Gleeson, Meta Mooney. Clemency Posey plays Fleur Declore, who ends up marrying Ron Weasley's older brother. And then the priest, Carian Hines, who was also in Game of Thrones. He plays Aberforth Dumbledore, who is Professor Dumbledore's brother. And then Colin Farrell plays Percival Graves, which is the Fantastic Beasts movies, which I've never seen, surprisingly.
That does surprise me.
I felt like I was done. I was done after the last one. I didn't need to see whatever the Fantastic Beasts are. Though they are doing a new TV show.
So you feel like you're done and you get to stop whenever you want. Meanwhile, you forced me to watch all 8 of those goddamn Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, but the Fantastic Beasts are like something separate. Harry Potter's not in those movies. They are doing a new TV show.
That doesn't HBO. Forgive you.
You act like I held a gun to your head and made you watch them. They were fine.
You did the podcast version of that.
You could have said no. That's always an option.
That would have gone over well.
Yeah. McDonough, Farrell, and Gleason would reunite for the 2022 film Banshees of Inisherin, which we both really enjoyed. That's about it. I don't really have a lot of notes or impact. I mean, movie didn't make a bunch of money. It was nominated for a couple of awards, but I think the biggest impact would be that McDonough has continued a pretty successful career. And I don't know if I would say Colin Farrell launched out of this, but this was like one of the higher parts of the wave, right? Like he's gone up and down, and this was a good one. Gleason's been steady throughout.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like was Minority Report before or after Daredevil?
I think
before,
that was
I think.
after.
Oh yeah.
I think I'll take a look.
I feel like Minority Report was like the first time I heard of Colin Farrell, unless I'm mistaken and Daredevil was first.
I think the first time I heard of him was Phone Booth, but
was Phone Booth before either of those?
So Tigerland, which is 2000, Hearts War was 2020 or 2002.
I know Phone Booth got pushed back the release because of 9/11.
Minority Report, Hearts War, and Phone Booth were all 2002.
Okay.
Daredevil 2003, SWAT as well. Alexander 2004, Miami Vice, which I've never seen. Miami Vice is 06.
I don't love Miami Vice.
And then In Bruges. I'm skipping over some stuff.
Yeah, I feel like his like kind of breakthrough, like the first time he really got some buzz was Minority Report. Personally, but
I mean that's a Spielberg movie, right? Like, so. The other stuff, like Frankie Starlight was his first movie, but he plays Young Man in Cinema #2. So obviously not anything. The Disappearance of Finbar was an Irish movie. The War Zone, a British drama. Ordinary Decent Criminal with Kevin Spacey.
I've never heard of any of these.
And Linda Fiorentino. Never heard of that. And then Tigerland, I think, might be his first big, like it's 2000 war drama directed by Joel Schumacher. But I don't think he got much recognition from that. American Outlaws.
I don't feel like that movie was a big hit.
Yeah. American Outlaws in 2001 with Scott Conn and Ali Larter. And then 2002 was his year. Like Hearts War, I think, was a decently popular movie. It's Bruce Willis, like war picture. Minority Report and Phone Booth all came out that year. And then he's just kind of riding the wave from there. Fright Night in 2011, I think, was kind of a hit.
People seem to really like that movie, despite the fact that it's a remake of a already beloved film, but I've never seen that version.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty popular at the time. The Lobster. I'm trying to look at like when he starts becoming, like when he starts acting in things that are not like mainstream, but I guess more acclaimed, and it's probably like The Lobster in 2015, right?
I don't know. I don't have the list in front of me.
Seven Psychopaths in 2012, Total Recall. That's not one. Fright Night, Horrible Bosses. The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus was not a big film.
Heath Ledger's final film, though, yes.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's a Terry Gilliam movie, and Heath Ledger like died while they were filming it.
Yeah.
Early on, so then like every scene that character's in, he's played by a different actor. There's like 4 or 5 different people who play that character throughout.
Okay.
Another one, I saw it in the theater, and I only remember the vaguest things about it, but...
Yeah. Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. All right. I can't ask you this because you'd already seen it, so you didn't miss it. You actually saw it around the time it came out. Probably like one of the soonest possible times that you could have seen it, since it was only in... There's no way it was playing near you.
Yeah, I guarantee I got it from Blockbuster.
Yeah. The question is, did I miss it? And I mean, if you can't tell from this conversation, it's clear. Yes, this was an excellent movie, and I'm glad to have finally crossed it off the list. This was really, really good.
Well, maybe the next time I recommend a movie to you, you shouldn't wait 17 years before you watch it.
How long did it take you to watch Malcolm X?
Not as long as it took you to watch In Bruges.
Sure, that's true. That is true. You got me there. Shots fired. All right. I think that's going to do it. You got anything else?
No. That's I'm good.
All right. So that's going to be it for In Bruges. Come back next week as we continue our surge through 2008. We're watching the film that you chose, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. One of the few movies that we've done on this show that I've seen many times. Not only have I seen it, I've seen it many times. I like this movie quite a bit. Spoilers. Let's come back next week for Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Until then, I'm Jesse Munoz.
I'm Ryan Miller.
See you next week for Forgetting Sarah Marshall.